Hi, cuties, besties, and ghosties. This is Muertera. Welcome to my channel, Muertero. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome back for all of my returning viewers. So happy you're here, yay! And to any new folks, welcome. Today we are going to be doing a really fun reading. We're going to look into the next 3 months in your love life. So we'll start out looking at oracles and just take a look at kind of the energy shifting. So we'll look at the current energy and kind of what's percolating, what's kind of ready to be released. We'll look at upcoming energies and then where you'll kind of end up in 3 months. And then we will clarify everything with tarot. So I'm really excited for this. We'll probably end up with a little bit, I think I'm going to end with charms at the end too. Not necessarily to do a lot of intuitive reading off of them, but just for little synchronicities that you can look out for in the next couple months to be like, oh, wow, I'm on track. So I think that'll be nice. If you have not watched a pick a pile reading before, each pile is going to be a different reading. So we'll have a section where I'll talk about the crystals and play a singing bowl, and you can kind of feel into the energy and pick your pile. But otherwise, if you've already picked, I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi, cuties. So welcome to your pick a pile section. We're gonna talk about the crystals a little bit and then about the decks, and then I'll play this singing bowl. Feel free to click down in the description when you've figured out which pile is for you. Our first pile has a piece of rose quartz, our very typical basic B of love crystals. Always a good standby. And then we have the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, which is one of my oldest and my favorite deck. We also have a piece of, it's an amethyst point, and amethyst is always good for communicating with your guides. Also kind of a basic B crystal, so it's kind of a trend. And then we have the Rainbow Heart Tarot. It's the first time I'm using it on camera, so I'm excited. Dropping the crystal. And then we have, I always forget the name of this crystal. I want to call it rhododendron, but that's that's a flower. But it's a very grounding crystal for love. Whenever I see black stones, I think of grounding, and this one has like this little like pinky like flecks in it. So yeah, if you need some stability in your love life, this may be your pile. I'm not sure yet. And then we have the Morgan Greer Tarot. So these are your 3 piles. Okay, well, if you stuck with me this far, this is time to pick your pile, and I will see you in your reading. Bye! Hi, pile 1. If you chose this, oh my gosh, rose quartz. I don't know why I just forgot that. And the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, then this is your pile. I already have some oracles shuffled, so I'm going to grab those and move the tarot off for a second. And then we can get started. Okay, So as the energy that you're kind of like currently in but passing through right now is represented by the maiden. Like the reading today is going to be pretty linear. I've decided. We'll see how it goes. Like it might be circular, it might be linear, but I'm kind of thinking that on the left side is going to be energy that you're kind of currently in but currently passing out of. Middle energy will be what you're passing into, and then the end energy will be kind of where you end up in the next 3 months. So hopefully this works pretty well. Energy that you're moving into is Thanatos, and then your ending energy is the vessel. I've pulled some animal cards as well. So you're starting out as the buffalo reversed and ending up as the deer reversed. These a little bit. And then we also have the death of the deceitful as kind of a transitionary energy, as well as the heart eater clarified by the gallery of those who came before in reverse. So this is a really interesting journey, I guess, that I'm seeing right now. So let's start out with the buffalo. The buffalo, when it's upright, is very grounded, spiritual, strong and powerful. I think in combination with the maiden, I'm getting a little bit of not so much a timid energy, but I feel like you're kind of like coming out of a period where you were a little bit more naive when it came to love, but also other relationships that you have as well. It feels like maybe you kind of relied on external influences a bit, or maybe like weren't as aware of your own needs in romance. And that's something that is slowly like seeping into your consciousness. And with the death of the deceitful here, that really talks about coming in, like her third eye is like busted open. It's really about being able to see kind of the reality of our existence and realize what is serving us and what's not. And kind of coming in and brutally removing the things that are not serving us. And not doing that it doesn't have to be in the gentlest way. And this might not manifest in the most gentle energy. Because I think you're really learning how to use your voice and how to speak your needs and how to say no, and how to put up boundaries for yourself. Like you feel like you've been like a little bit like ungrounded, but in the sense like maybe you were looking to somebody else to tell you what was good for you. And it feels like you're going through a moment where you're starting to realize that it's not about what other people think or want for you. It's really about what you want. And so this death, this is a really powerful card, and it's really talking about a lot of really strong change coming into your life. Thanatos is a card about death. And death is about change. It's also about kind of this rich tapestry of life. And I feel like you're starting to weave this in a more purposeful way for yourself, a way that makes more sense for you. And I think that you've come to understand that here, like, death is only the beginning. Death makes room for something new. Death gives you an opportunity to create space in your life for something else, something more beautiful. I feel like this is an energy that you're going to be kind of sitting in for a little bit. And Spirit wants to kind of give you a heads up too, like, creation comes from destruction, but there needs to be a balance there as well. It's kind of like an equal amount of creation and destruction. You're going to clear some things out and some things are going to come in. I think there may be a tendency, like in this time period, where clearing things out feels really good and you're kind of like getting back on track and feeling more confident in like removing things that no longer serve you. The Heart Eater card, though, talks about making some like self-destructive choices where you actually end up hurting yourself instead. And I think clarified with the gallery of those who came before, this can talk about like mentors in your life or people that you've learned from previously. I'm kind of feeling like maybe this is talking about maybe like self-destructive habits that you've picked up either from previous relationships or from the household that you grew up in. And, you know, like our first baseline for love is really watching our parents. And I think Spirit is just reminding you, like, be gentle with yourself. You're going to be going through a lot of change, and that change is really good. And it's okay to take some quiet time and to really process that and figure out how to incorporate that in a healthy way. Because I think Spirit wants you to come out of here strong. And change can be really painful and really hurtful. And I'm just like seeing how this like hand is the exact same hand. Like they just want you to take care of yourself and make sure that when you're making changes, they really are in service of your higher good. Like make sure they're very aligned with that, with your wants, your needs. Because this is a new skill that you're just learning how to use. And a knife can cut both ways. So just remember to be balanced when you're using that voice, like be discerning. Because what I'm seeing from the other side is you're going to emerge from this time period far more confident than you were before. I mean, if you look at the maiden is completely surrounded and there's just this hand. This is a like nearly fully formed person kind of springing up from the vessel. And the vessel is all about like sacred containers. And I feel like you are creating this sacred container for yourself. And as you're doing that, as you're clearing these things out, you're starting to learn to be really gentle and forgiving of yourself. And I feel like this is a new energy for you. Like if you look at these cards, like there's no other green really in this spread. I think this is you kind of coming into your power, and there's a little bit of a timid energy there. Like this vessel is kind of emerging, but is covering themselves. Like the deer can be very timid and very protective, especially when it's reversed. But I just feel like this, you know, we're going to get into tarot and ask about like external relationships, but I think I'm just seeing a very, very beautiful internal progression here. And I really do think that you're just going to emerge from this 3 months with just such a gentle love for yourself. And I feel like that's something that, like, you may have put a gentle love out into the world, but I don't know that you always held space for yourself in that way and held that gentle love for you. And I think that's just so beautiful. Like that is one of the most, honestly, this is one of the most beautiful spreads I've ever seen. Okay, so let's dig into tarot and see kind of more like external world, like what's happening, what's going on with love. And this is just a reminder, if this does not sound like you and this doesn't sound like your pile, feel free to hop over to another pile or a different reading at this point. I think this is probably longer than you needed to make that decision. So I hope if you're here, this is making sense for you. Okay, Spirit, what can you tell me about kind of give me a timeline for the next 3 months. So we have Obatala, which is the Four of Pentacles, Azakala Flambeau, which is the Ten of Wands. Okay. And then we have the Eight of Wands as well. Okay, we have Yawo, which is, I think, the Princess of Pentacles, Legba, the Six of Swords in reverse, and then the Two of Cups, Two of Cups, Granibo. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, and we have Master of the Head in reverse as well, which I think is the Hierophant. I might have to look that one up. And then the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, I did just take a quick peek for Master of the Head. That card really rarely comes out for me in this deck, so okay. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on here. Let's talk a little bit about kind of left to right. So, I do feel like you are making your way out of a situation that maybe like you had been holding on to a little bit too long. And it seems like we're going from very kind of like stable earthy energy to a lot of fire. Azakala Flambeau, like this man is just kind of like smoking a pipe, and there's a picture of like lovers inside of the smoke. And I really do think this is really just pointing to things in your life that are no longer serving you. And I feel like the smoke is kind of obscuring as well. And that might have contributed a little bit to the ungroundedness. But what's really beautiful about this is we have the Eight of Wands, like this woman just fucking riding a snake through fire, right underneath death of the deceitful. And I really think you are coming out of this period with a far greater understanding of what you need in a relationship. And I think that came at a cost, that came through trials and tribulations. That was not something that was easy. I think it was quite heartbreaking. And Spirit wants you to know that if you've gone through something like that recently, this is part of your growth. It was meant for your growth. And what's coming to fill it is really beautiful. And I'm gonna be honest. You know, generally I am pretty honest in readings. There may be somebody coming in. You know, we have the Two of Cups here, but we also have the Six of Swords in reverse. And it's under the Heart Eater. And so you may be in a place where you're not really ready. And that's kind of like the energy that I'm just feeling like you're kind of going on this healing journey, and I feel like maybe like the heart eater, not only is it kind of a need to really rest and incorporate these lessons, but there may be kind of like a person who comes in who you're not quite ready for. The good thing though, and you know, I don't want to be the downer, but I'm going to be straight up, you know, like I think you went through something pretty hard. And we're talking about like the next 3 months. It may take you a little bit longer. I don't feel like this person is going to go anywhere though. I think what Spirit really wants you to know is like, make sure you learn and make sure that you take a step forward if that person comes in when you're ready. Because I think there is a potential here to like carry some of the baggage from whatever happened previously into a new connection. And I think that's part of the reason why like we have a lot of reversals and kind of like the end of the spread, and honestly not that many at the beginning. What I'm really feeling is you're going to be going through a period where you're really going to be integrating the lessons that you're learning. And we have like two very spiritual cards. We have the High Priestess in reverse, and we have the Hierophant in reverse. And I think you're really going to be kind of sitting and figuring out, again, like what your needs are and how you want to interact with the world, and how you can express that gentleness in a safe way. And the vessel is about a sacred vessel as well. We have the Hierophant holding this pot here. And I just feel like a little bit of a protective energy. And what I'm feeling from this Two of Cups, it's like if you look at this card, there's actually not two people on the Two of Cups in this deck, which is kind of interesting. But it's somebody just like kicking it, watching the plantation grow. I have no idea what's out there. But I feel like you're going to have a lot of really loving energy that's very invested in this change for you, and is going to be very, very patient with you as you kind of integrate these really fiery energies. What I'm also noticing here is we have the Queen of Wands, and we have these two cards where you're kind of like riding this snake kind of aggressively. And then we have this woman who's more in kind of like a loving, tender embrace with the snake. And I feel like that's really going to be the shift. Like once you're ready to kind of put that like very, I don't want to say aggressive, like very forceful energy down, then you're going to start stepping into that gentle energy. And that's going to be the time when you're going to know like, okay, now I'm kind of ready to like put this very strong energy down that I needed. Like I needed to use that as a tool to make a lot of changes in my life. But there's going to come a point where you're going to say, okay, now it's time to put that down. If I continue with this energy, I'm going to pass up these things that are in front of me, because that energy is about clearing. And I really want to bring love into my life. And that's going to take a very different type of energy. And that's kind of the redefining your vessel, where you're going to start putting together your life in a way that you can kind of put that energy down, let the things dissipate that you wanted to dissipate, and then move into a gentler energy. And I feel like you're just going to kind of know when it's time. Like you're just going to kind of have this moment. It's going to make sense. It's going to fit in with the way that you see life, the structure you want to create in your life. I feel like one day you're literally just going to like sigh out and be like, okay, I'm done. Like, I don't know why I'm just like feeling that so strongly. Okay, let's pull some charms. What are little, whoop, I hope that wasn't too loud. Okay, Spirit, what are little synchronicities that pile one can look for? One more, two more, okay. I have no idea what this is actually. An ornament, a little bell. So bells could be significant. We have a 4-leaf clover. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a high heel, a little apple, a rocking horse, a watermelon, and we've got a battle axe, which I think is pretty fitting for this reading. Okay, well, this was your reading, Pile 1. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I hope this was helpful. Yeah, I don't know how helpful these charms were. I might not pull them for the rest of the piles, to be perfectly honest. But hey, if you see a battle axe in the next 3 months, come back and tell me. I want to know, and I want to know how you used it. But yeah, I'm so grateful to have you here. Yeah, please like, comment, subscribe if you're called to, if this resonated with you. I'm really excited for this growth and this change over the next couple months. And yeah, keep your little heart safe in this time, and I hope I will see you soon in another reading. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile 2s. If you picked this little amethyst point, this and the Rainbow Heart Tarot, I don't know why I keep forgetting its name. This is your reading. I'm going to move this over for a second, big boy, and we are going to put out your oracles. I'm going to read in a format from left to right, so we'll start with kind of your more recent energy and what's like kind of here but currently passing. Then we'll look at upcoming energy and then where you're going to end up at the end of the month. We're going to do a row of oracles and then we'll do some tarot. There were a lot of cards for last reading, so buckle up, friends. Oh, okay, so for your first energy, we have the Mother. For your central energy, so what's upcoming is the Siren, and then where you will end up is the Underworld reversed. We had 2 animal cards come out, the Scorpion reversed and the Tarantula reversed. For the beginning energy, we have Everything Will Be Okay reversed, and then we have Pink Bubby Fairy and the Mysterious Mother, which is interesting when this came out because we have the Mother here as well. Y'all got some feminine energy in this pile. And then as kind of your final animal energy, we have the Nightingale, which is really cool. Like, when I shuffled this out, I just got like the most energized, happiest feeling. Like this bird was just singing, like pure joy. And I keep hearing the song Blackbird by the Beatles. Like, I just feel a very, very joyful energy from this card. So I was really excited to see it. Okay, friends, I'm kind of obsessed with this spread here. Let's start with the energy here, and we'll do kind of a little energy check to make sure this is your pile. But what I'm getting from this, like, this kind of section, this Mother, Tarantula, Scorpion side, I feel like you've been going through a period where you've been kind of questioning, like, whether or not the womb that you, this sounds so weird, but like, I'm not getting like the traditional like mother archetype feeling from this card. I'm getting more of like a protective womb like energy. And I feel like you may be going through a period where you felt like you needed to protect yourself in some way. Like the scorpion can talk about getting burned when it's in the reverse. And usually the scorpion is actually, you know, like when I first saw the scorpion card, I thought it might be like more of a negative card. It's actually not. Like it talks about being kind of like fiery and outgoing and fun. And the tarantula is kind of like driven and determined. And I feel like these are kind of your normal modes, but something has kind of forced you into retreat a little bit. And it feels like a little bit of like incubating or isolating energy. So quick pause here. If that doesn't sound like you right now, you can pick a different pile or a different reading. We have two other piles. But this is kind of what I'm getting right now as the energy that you're in and kind of working through. So we have everything will be okay in reverse here. And I feel like right now you're in a period where you're like questioning whether things are going to be okay. And I think especially like with this just very like self-protective energy that I'm feeling, I feel like you're kind of struggling with the idea that maybe stepping out of whatever kind of protective shell that you've put on yourself, whether or not you'll be okay when you do that. And I can kind of see this in a few different ways. Like, I almost feel like some of you might be dealing with like a really hard like family wound or an argument or a falling out, or you may be dealing with your mother and kind of breaking out of a mold that they have set for you that, while it feels safe, you know isn't the healthiest for you, and you know is kind of like tempering your fire. I also could see this being like you really protecting your heart. And you could be in a relationship or not, but really being hesitant to fully put yourself out there and let people see you. Like I almost get this like feeling from this card, like, you know, when you kind of like flip your fingers over, or how do you do it? You like put it on your face, like, and you like look through, you're like, oh wait, no, it's backwards. I can't do it here. But you like look through the little glasses. They're like the little okay holes. Like I kind of feel like this energy from it. Like you're really peeking out from those little holes, being like, am I okay? Is it going to be okay? Is it okay for me to like step a little toe out? Like I just got hurt and I just might not be ready to really start over again. And the mother is also either the first, I don't know if this deck starts at 1 or 0, but it is like one of the first cards, and maybe the first card in this deck. And I do feel like this like Genesis energy from it, like you're just not quite sure whether or not you really want to go out. But then we have the siren. And the siren can be the call of many things. And I feel like we have this nightingale here. Like I feel like there is something outside of this little protective shell that is calling you. And I also get this like kind of energy that you might be like wilding out a little bit when you answer this call. Like the siren can talk about like partying and stuff too. Like it doesn't have to. I don't get really negative vibes from this. I get more like this is like the siren call of your soul telling you, hey, hi, I'm ready. You're ready. Like there's something bigger out here for you to come find. Like, come find me. I'm calling to you. And there's all this like pink in it. And then we have, I thought it said Bubby Fairy, but it's Pink Bubble Fairy. We have this purple and this like pink kind of motif in both the Pink Bubble Fairy and the Mysterious Mother. And the Pink Bubble Fairy talks about manifestation and really your dreams happening. And the Mysterious Mother is like this like beacon nurturing energy. And it's almost like these bubbles are kind of swirling around. Like this siren song is calling you out and really calling you to your purpose. And it feels gentle. It feels kind of coy. It feels like it's teasing you out. Like you're starting to kind of experiment again. You're starting to like, you know, like peek from behind your little blinders, your little okay eyes, and realize that there's this beautiful world out there and you are protected. I don't know that like you're going to see the reason for the hurt that you've gone through immediately. You know, I feel like that's something that comes with time and experience. But I think you are going to be in this space where rather than being in this womb energy where you feel like you need to protect yourself, you start trusting in the universe and realizing that the universe has your back and it is there to help you. It just feels so, I don't know, so mysterious and so beautiful. Like I feel like I don't have a lot of specifics for it because it's just a call. And I think that whatever that call is going to be different for everyone because you all have a different life purpose. You all have a different path. And it just feels so like intoxicating, but in the best way. Like truly like just falling like head over heels in love. I don't know if that's going to be with a person or with a project or with yourself. Like it just feels like there's kind of like this wide expanse opening. And I think that you know intuitively that it's out there. I just think this call is going to become stronger and stronger in like the next few weeks to like month, 2 months. And when you start responding, you're going to come back to life. Like that's really what I like feel from the end of this pile. Like this is such a beautiful energy. Like we have the underworld in reverse. You're not stuck down there. I think you're coming to the realization that like you can come out for air. And again, like this nightingale, when I shuffled it out, just felt joyful, like so joyous. And I feel like that's you coming out of this kind of this shell. It doesn't even necessarily feel like a dark period. It feels like that happened before. But you've still kind of got your walls up and the constriction that I'm feeling like for your energy right now is kind of like it's self-protective, but almost self-inflicted in a way where like you're the only person who's kind of holding yourself back right now. And I feel like when that restriction is released, like you are just going to be so happy and feel so blessed to kind of see the light again and find joy again, to be connected to your purpose again. This is really beautiful. Okay, we're gonna grab tarot because I could literally, I want to like sit in this like siren energy forever, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's really tempting for me to just kind of talk and not move on, but let's move on. Yeah, I'm seeing the Five of Cups. And like the Three of Cups are in that direction, the Two of Cups are over here. Like, I feel like you are going to be rediscovering those Two of Cups. Like that joy that you just were kind of too afraid to look at. Like it just felt like too real or too raw, too scary. I'm doing a very bad job of shuffling these, I'm sorry. Okay, that's gonna have to be good enough. So Spirit, what can you tell me about Pile 2's journey over the next 3 months? Justice. Justice. Temperance. And the Ten of Pentacles, okay. And that siren energy. Two of Wands. Oh, the Five of Cups is coming out again. And the Nine of Cups. Aww. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. The Hermit. I'm going to take that upright. That feels right. I'm also getting just like star vibes from this Hermit too. And the Seven of Cups in reverse. Okay. I feel just such a feeling of safety from these 3 cards over here. And I'm noticing that I mean, I guess like all of these people's eyes are closed. I never noticed that about this deck before. I just got it, but that's kind of interesting considering like your mother energy does have that little like, you know, like keeping your eyes closed, protecting yourself type of energy. And I think this like cocoon time is really going to show you like the Ten of Pentacles is like, for me, kind of like the ultimate like grounding of happiness, your purpose, like a good, well-lived life. And it's kind of interesting that that's coming after this Temperance card, which is about alchemy and turning lead into gold. And I think it's this energy of kind of self-reflection and of balancing, like just as you're balancing whether or not like you're ready to go out into the world or not. And I think you're going to be building this castle in the sky, and this castle in the sky is going to be like that siren song that kind of pulls you along. You're like, okay, well, like I can't just like sit here in my protective mother energy in a womb. I need to go out into the world. I need to find this. Like, even if I'm scared, even if I don't feel like I'm fully healed or I'm fully ready, like I think the reality is you're further along than you think. It's really just about like taking that action and letting this dream that you have pull you along into the future. These cards are so big, I want to like spread them out. But then we have the Two of Wands and the Five of Cups and the Nine of Cups. And I feel like you are kind of like dealing with this decision. This is about adventure. This is about choosing your path and figuring out which way to go. And I think this, like, there may be some ups and downs in like this energy and figuring out like what is actually going to fulfill you, and maybe what is like a little bit of a false siren call. Like, I kind of get some people are gonna go a little bit ham and like drink a little too much. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that's for everybody, but I think it is like a reminder, like, it is okay to go out and let loose. Like, you've been chilling for a while, but like, be safe. Be safe. Like, you don't want to cause any more pain for yourself. Like, you want it to be fun. You want it to be celebratory. And I love that the Nine of Cups is here. And it's right under like the pink bubble fairy. Yeah, pink bubble fairy. And this mysterious mother. Like, I really think that you are going to figure out like what you want. And it might not look exactly like this castle in the sky that you're thinking about with this Ten of Pentacles. Like, we also have the Two of Cups reversed here. Like, you might, honestly, like, you might end up meeting somebody. Like, I feel like you're going to meet somebody who's like a little bit unexpected. And unexpected in a way that like you've spent so much time kind of like creating this vision of your life. Like, I feel like this Ten of Pentacles is like a vision board. There's like black, white, gray, blue, like all these things put up there. There's a castle in the sky. Like, there's an almost compass looking thing at the bottom. Not really, but like, let's roll with it. Like, I feel like you've set this intention out into the universe, and you have this idea and you're feeling this call for it. You're like, okay, I'm going to go on this adventure. And we have this wish fulfillment cup. But they're also little like genie teapots, and genies could be a little tricky sometimes. Like, I feel like the universe is bringing you what you want, but I think it's going to come in a package that you're not necessarily expecting. Like, you might meet somebody in a very unexpected way. You might meet a person who you wouldn't think in a million years that you'd be attracted to, but like, they're just this like the right light. And I think after being in kind of this womb energy, and again, not like bad darkness, but like protected darkness, I feel like that light is going to be such a strong call for you. And they're just like, something feels so unexpected about this Seven of Cups. Like, I always get like unexpected surprises from Seven of Cups. Like, upright, it feels very like kind of roll the dice, but like you're a little bit blinded. Reversed, it always feels to me like Russian roulette in like a good way. Like, just like something like very unexpected, in a place you're not going to expect, in a time you're not going to expect. And it's like, it also feels too, you and this person are going to be very drawn to each other. Yeah, and I'm getting for some of you, like, this might be like an unexpected like project as well. I don't necessarily think it has to be a person, but like, you are going to be calling, like, you are singing your little heart out, and this person or thing is shining, and I just feel like this like magnetic energy coming off of this card. And it's got something to do with like with the choices and the like exploration that you've made with this Two of Wands as well. Like, I'm just kind of like, also, that is a really funny sun. With these wands, like, whichever wand you choose, like, I feel like this is like, it's a siren's call of the universe, but it's also like a choose your own adventure type deal. like in your adventuring, you know, you're going to come to a crossroads and you're going to make your decision. You're going to say like, okay, like this is what I'm doing. And that choice is calling right back to you. I'm really excited. This is a really beautiful spread. I think you're going to end this next 3 months with just so much hope. And like what you are putting out in the universe is going to be reflected back at you. I think that's just the strongest message that I'm getting. Like there are so many cards here about kind of like manifestation and being nurtured by the universe, of seeking, and just there's something like unexpected and wildly beautiful beyond what you could imagine coming your way. And I don't say that in readings, by the way. Like, I just like this whole section has given me something. Okay, we're gonna pull some charms because I said I would. They were not that helpful in the first pile, so if they're not helpful now, I may not do this again. But okay, Spirit, what are synchronicities that pile 2 can look for in the next 3 months? Okay, we have a little like lemon lime. Here in like lemon lime soda. Maybe we have some Sprite fans. There's a little heart with like a universe. Well, there's like a little moon and a galaxy. I guess it's a little short of universe. But I'm hearing like stargazing. So maybe you'll see some signs in the stars. We have a crown. I'm hearing like birthday from that. A black swan. Balloons. If anybody just looks up and sees balloons in the sky, you have to tell me. That's just my dream on any given day anyway. And then we have a little skull and crossbones with a bow. Okay. I don't know if those are helpful. You're going to have to tell me. But this is all I have for you. This is such beautiful energy. Pile 2s, I'm very excited for you. I'm excited for this journey that you're on. If you resonated with this, please like, comment, subscribe. That helps me grow my channel. I'm so grateful to have you here. This has been really beautiful, really fun. And I hope you protect your little heart, but not too much. Come out of your shell. And yeah, I hope you will come see me again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile 3s. If you picked this crystal, I don't know why I keep putting this in my readings and I never look up the name, but it's rhodolite. One day I'll look it up. One day. If you know what kind of stone this is, look at this. Let me know. Okay, and the Morgan Greer Tarot, this is your reading. I don't know if that was a full sentence that made sense. It's a little late right now, so I'm only slightly loopy. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna pull your oracles out. I'm gonna read in kind of like a left to right format. So we'll start out with the current energy that you're in and is kind of like passing right now. It's kind of like the transient energy, I would say. On the left, we'll do kind of like the near future in the middle, and then on the right will be kind of where you end up in 3 months. We'll do like I'll explain kind of the first part. You can use that as a little like energy check to make sure that this is your reading. But besides that, I'm gonna get started. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. You got a lot of cards, I think, if I remember. So we have the Poet as your beginning energy. And then we have the Seed and the Dead End as your central energy, which I thought was like pretty cool because these are definitely very opposing energies, and I thought they were just very cool. Anyway, and then the prayer and the queen, because I stand polarity. Anyway, then we have your animal card at the beginning is the bee, so kind of where you're starting out. We have a connecting energy of Fire Mother and Slimy. And then your final animal energy is the Dragonfly. Okay, friends. Let's start out with your kind of initial energy. This is a very cool spread. I took a second to kind of sit and look at the poet for a little bit because I don't know, there's something about this card in this deck, and I don't know what it is, but it always gives me like a little bit of like like an energy of instability. And it looks very much like this Fire Mother card as well. We kind of have like the swirling colors around. We have this eggs in the middle of the Fire Mother, and then we have this kind of like egg in the middle of the poet. And the Fire Mother can talk about, like, the Fire Mother is a phoenix, and it's about creation from destruction. And the Fire Mother is always kind of cradling like her eggs within, like there's always this like life-giving force from this destruction. But there's also a little bit of a warning with this card, saying that sometimes destruction can become habitual. And sometimes maybe like we end up removing things that were actually good for us or positive for us, or creating kind of a cycle where we're looking for conflict, because that's what we're used to. And it's kind of interesting with the poet, because the poet, like poets in general, I don't know why I just stopped talking there for a second, but how do I describe this? Like, the poet's giving me an energy of like an artist or a creative or somebody who creates art, maybe a lot of times that stems from heartbreak. Like, I kind of see like a musician putting out like the album of their career, but it's a breakup album. And then like there's almost a pressure to replicate that success, and maybe an album that they wrote when they were completely in love doesn't sell. And so there's this tug where it's like, oh, well, do I need to create more heartbreak in my life to actually be able to create art? You may resonate with this as an artist, or you just might resonate like with the cycle of kind of going through life and just accepting that there are ups and downs without maybe like really fully realizing that not all of those ups and downs are necessary, or life can just be more peaceful than that. So I think that's something that you're becoming more aware of right now. If this is like a very specific energy, so if this feels like you, I would definitely say this is your pile. If it's not really resonating, maybe pick pile 1 or 2. I think they did kind of feel like a little bit less specific, I guess. Like, but this is definitely like a very specific energy. Yeah, like with the bee, like bees are very industrious, and they're very like community focused almost. And I kind of get the sense that like you've just been kind of like trudging through it, like, oh, just got to put like one foot in front of the other, like, oh, well, heartbreak is just part of a relationship, or like conflict is just part of a relationship. And I think what you're going to be stepping into in the near future is really a reevaluation of that perspective. And really thinking like, is this heartbreak over and over and over? Like, I could see this kind of being like an up and down relationship that you're currently in, or maybe you're kind of in a situationship that's not really going anywhere and it's like hurtful, but then you go back and it's good for a bit, but then it's hurtful and the person doesn't commit. Like, I do feel like there's this kind of like cyclical energy in this. We kind of have these circles, like the fire mother swirls. And then we have this very interesting pairing of the dead end and the seed. And I am obsessed with this because I love polarity. We're in a world of polarity, of opposites. And this is like the complete potential for creation and the complete, like, just no creation, I guess. Like the dead end, like there's nothing there, like there's no more potential there. But then the seed is like, it can grow a living thing, but it also hasn't grown it yet. It is just pure potential force. And I really feel like you are going to be taking a look at your relationships and the types of relationships that you accept in your life and the ones that you put energy and effort to, because I do feel like you're kind of a through thick and thin person. Like, you don't give up easy. Like, well, like if I decide that I love somebody, then I'm going to work on it, But I think that you're kind of like running into this blocker where the universe is saying, well, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into it. If it's a dead end, it's a dead end. You can't just keep on going in the same cycle as destruction, rebirth, destruction, rebirth. And I think the world is giving you an opportunity. There's this seed, this entire potential to open up and to change something in your life. And with Slimy is kind of like a card where there's all these frogs, and sometimes it's hard to distinguish whether you're like in good slime or bad slime. Essentially, like, are you slimy having fun, or are you like slimy in the muck? And I think like this dichotomy is really illustrative of you kind of like taking a look at what's happening around you and your choices in this as well, and really realizing like that you do have a choice. You can put a stop to things that aren't quite working in your life, and you can use this beautiful bee energy to create something new. And let's talk about kind of the end energy for this, because I think it's so cool. The Queen is just an extremely powerful card. In this deck, like, the King is kind of a card of ego, and the Queen is actually manifesting that ego into the world, like the manifestation of it. I do think you're going to gain a lot of confidence in your decision making through this process. The dragonfly is also about wisdom and kind of clear sight. I think there is like a comment from Spirit here. Is like, the Queen is full of ego. So make sure when you're making decisions, when you decide, I'm going to end this, I'm going to continue with this, I'm going to give this another chance, this hasn't run its course, be fair, be judicious. Sit with yourself, like really get to know what you want. Be discerning, like, is this good muck, is this bad muck? Is this conflict that's going to propel this relationship into the future? Because sometimes conflict does. Sometimes you need to work through things. Sometimes it's just the same thing over and over and over again that never gets resolved. And so I think the way that you really make those judicious decisions and really like discover your power and sit in your power is through prayer. Whatever you call that. That could be sitting in silence, that could be meditation, that could be going into nature. whatever puts you in touch with your higher guidance. And I just feel so much self-confidence from this card, because I feel like you're kind of going through a time where you're questioning your decisions and maybe like doubting the decisions you've made in the past, and figuring out like how to do it healthier, how to make healthier decisions. And at the end of it, I think you're going to be really proud of yourself, and you're going to really recognize your strength. Like, I am a queen. You know, however you identify, that's ego and confidence manifested in the world. And you're going to be able to take that confidence you've built up through making kind of good and right decisions and walk into the future with that. Like, you're going to have your head held high. Because I feel like the bee is a little bit shy. The bee is focused on making good decisions for other people. And at the end of this 3 months, you're really going to be in a position where you can say, okay, like, I can make good decisions for my people, and I can also make good decisions for myself. But like, I got to take care of myself first before I can take care of the other people around me. That's really the feeling I'm getting from this. I love this. I'm a little obsessed with this energy. Okay. So let's dig into some tarot. And we have the Ten of Swords just popping out in between the deck. And that can talk about ending cycles, ending painful cycles. And again, I think that's like recognizing whether this is something that is like dead and gone, or whether there's like a potential for growth into something else. Love it. Okay. Let's do one more. Okay, Spirit. Let's talk about how this is going to manifest into love in the next 3 months. Oop. Okay. We have the Queen of Rods and Temperance. It's interesting, Temperance came out in the same position in Palo too. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is, you've been the queen bee all along. And we got like a queen and a bee, like, you've been the queen all along. But you've been kind of like playing this balancing act. And it's kind of like gotten in the way of you really realizing your full potential and your full worth. Okay. We have the Fool, which again is that like seed energy, that kind of pure potential. The Empress. We got some crazy, I'm gonna take these for here. I don't know. We got some crazy, no? Okay, no, I don't, no. We got some crazy feminine energy like in this spread. Okay, Spirit. The Moon. We got a big moon in the middle of the Queen. And the Ten of Cups reversed. And the Two of Wands. Okay. So this is going to be specific for those of you who know in your heart that you are kind of trapped in a cycle, either in a toxic relationship where the person is kind of feeding you false promises, is maybe like a gentle way to put it. If you're in a situation like that, I think that you are going to be given an opportunity to end it, is what I'm saying. I mean, you have free will, so however you want to deal with it, right? Like, but it does seem like the world is really giving you an opportunity to take a look at what is best for you and what's best for your spiritual journey, what's best for your growth. And we have the Eight of Cups, and then the next card is the Fool. And I feel like this decision is really going to be channeled through your feminine energy. Like there's kind of like, this is an emotional decision. And there may be parts of logic to it, but there's really no logic in this spread. Or not, there's no logic in this spread. Oh, it's late. Okay, there are no swords in this spread. We do have two air animals, so there is air represented. But I feel like that's kind of your normal energy. It's kind of like being a little bit more logical. I think it might be a little bit easier for you to kind of like sweep things under the rug a little bit, and kind of reason your way out of things. And I think you're being put in a position where you can no longer really make decisions strictly from a logical standpoint. If you are in kind of like an endless cycle with a person, like, and say it makes more sense for you to stay for whatever reason, I think you're going to be pushed into a decision like that is based more on your heart than your logic. And it's kind of up to you to take it. Like there's so much potential. Like if you look at this center spread, okay, we have the Fool. We have the Empress, who can also represent fertility, motherhood. So we have like the seed, and then we have the Ace of Rods. Like this center is pure potential. And the thing about potential is you can shape it into whatever you want. Like you're being given an opportunity to create something new out of this situation. And for some of you, it may be a new start with a person that you're already in a connection with. For others, it may be an ending. And I think that's really going to depend on kind of this process, like this waiting process of, am I putting myself through this destructive cycle over and over just out of habit? Like, can I actually distinguish whether I'm in a connection that is moving and growing and has potential, or one that is really stagnant and just isn't going to go anywhere? And maybe I've just been ignoring the signs because it didn't logically make sense. Like, I feel like maybe some people have been in this connection for a while, or maybe from more of like an ego perspective, like this person makes sense because the new energy is the Empress. So I feel like whatever decision making is going on right now is like more based on like the Emperor energy. Like, this person provides for me, this person has a stable career, this person does X, Y, and Z, we have a good life. Like, but that's kind of what it looks like on the outside. And I think that you're being prompted to look deeper into how this is actually making you feel and the emotional impact it has on you. And just going a little deeper. And that's the prayer here, is really sitting with yourself and getting in touch with that feminine energy. Like we have the moon. And the moon to me speaks about, confusion, but also feminine energy. Even if you think about like our cycles are impacted by the moon. And there seems to be this kind of like howling at the moon energy, like these emotions, that your emotional body is coming out and it's asking to be recognized. It's asking to be placed not just in the equation, but as the central energy of the equation. So put your feelings into it. I think if you're really like struggling to create that 10 of Cups moment for yourself, whether you're in a partnership with somebody else or you're not right now, I think getting more in touch with your emotions is really going to open up that opportunity. And it's really that choice that's going to either shepherd a new connection in or a new beginning to the connection. But it's only going to come by getting in touch with your emotions and really figuring out what you want. And I feel like this may be kind of like an underlying tension that just like never gets addressed in the room, or you have a really hard time like actually sinking into a connection and being emotionally vulnerable and emotionally available. It's kind of interesting on like this Two of Wands card, like there's this phantom hand. Like this deck has like interesting touches to it, but okay, this guy's hand is like on a rod. He's also holding a thing that kind of looks like a moon. Like it's not a world in this deck. It straight up looks like a moon. And then there's this other hand. And I feel like if you have somebody here and you've gone through this vetting process and like you're like, okay, this is good, I feel like that person is kind of reaching out. Like there's two hands on this 10 of Cups as well. Like they want to take this journey with you. But what's getting in the way is like your focus and kind of like repression of your emotional body. And I think when that unlocks, it's going to unlock a stable partnership into your life. I think that's really the key here for you. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I got for you. I'm going to pull some charms for signs that you can look in the next couple months. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I tried this in the last two piles. I don't know how helpful they are, but I said I was going to do it. So I'm going to do it. I may never do this again. But Spirit, can you give us some charms for signs for pile 3? Okay. We have a plane. So maybe like new adventures or experiencing something new. I feel like a new way of living. Maybe a trip kind of changes your perspective. Oh, turning over a new leaf. Have our little heartbreak. I just heard like best friends forever. So if you have like a little best friends locket, like, or you see one in a store or in a TV show, maybe that's a sign. Maybe you're going to randomly go into a church. That always reminds me of like stained glass in churches. And then I just heard like April showers bring May flowers. So Maybe that'll resonate. I don't know. Come back to the video and tell me. I'm curious if any of these are helpful. Um, I'm just going to trust it and go with it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me. This is a new channel. I'm so excited to have you here and really grateful that you came to hang out with me. So I hope you protect your little heart in the next couple months. This is some really beautiful energy, and there's so much creative potential in this pile, and I really can't wait to see how that manifests for you. So until then, protect your little heart, and I hope you will come and see me again soon. Okay, bye.